So, a couple of months ago, I posted a delicious looking rice noodle stir fry like this one, and I got a lot of requests saying, Mansa, drop the recipe already. We need it. So, in today's video, I am coming right through with it. This is going to be a step-by-step recipe of my homemade restaurant style rice noodle stir fry, and you can use any protein of your choice. Let's get right into today's video. All right, so we're going to start off with our noodles. We're going to boil our noodles. This is me just putting water in there, and I'm going to add some oil in it. The whole purpose of this is so that the noodles do not stick together. Now, rice noodles is really different. It gets sticky really fast, so be careful. I put in some salt, but do not worry. We're going to rinse this after we're done cooking. So I'm going to let that come to a boil. You can use any rice sticks or rice noodles of your choice. This is what I'm using today. So it is thicker if you notice. There are some rice sticks that are really, really thin, but I'm using this one today. This is easier to manipulate, okay? It's hard for you to mess this up because it's going to be like boiling spaghetti pretty much. So my water has come to a boil and I'm adding those. As you can see, these are 14-ounce packs, but I'm making a whole lot because I'm sharing with my friends. So I did end up using almost 3 packs of it. So yeah, I mix everything together, make sure that they're not sticking. The oil is going to help us achieve just that. And then I'm going to cover it up and let it cook. Just follow the instructions on your packaging. Whatever rice sticks, rice noodles you're going to use, just follow the instructions on that. Let's go ahead and introduce our protein. So my protein of choice today is going to be some shrimp. This is already clean, deveined and everything. And I'm also going to be using some chicken breast. I already cut this up myself. I've used beef. I've used a combination of all three. You could just use one. It depends on you. So this is totally going to be your food, your choice. As you can see, my water is nice and boiling. I checked on it, but it was not done. So you want to make sure that you check on it. It was not done. You do not want to cook this to be too soft. Again, rice sticks can turn into pudding so fast. So please do not let it cook all the way, okay? All right, so here I'm going to start marinating my chicken. I'm going to go in with some of my usual dry spices, onion powder, garlic powder. You could use anything of your choice. I added some paprika. It gives a beautiful color and taste. I also added some cayenne pepper for that kick, and I also added some chicken bouillon, which is nor, and some black pepper. These are my personal preferences. Go ahead and use any of your choice. This is also light soy sauce. This is low sodium soy sauce, by the way, because I'm going to be using more stuff. So I'm trying to control the salt. We're going to put this in the refrigerator to marinate. And then we're also going to do the same with the shrimp. But in the meantime, my noodles was done. I love the footage for that, but I had to drain it and wash it under cold running water. Okay, you want to wash it under the tap and make sure it is nice and spotless. You do not want to have anything sticking. It should be separating easily, nothing sticking. If it sticks, I am sorry, your recipe is not going to turn out right. It's going to turn into a hot mess. So I already seasoned the shrimp with the same ingredients. And then now to my veggies, I'm using some red onions, some jalapeno peppers, some green bell peppers, some yellow peppers, and some red bell peppers. Also add carrots. I'm going to add some carrots. I found some in my fridge. I always like to add a lot of carrots. I just went ahead and cut my vegetables like so. But I would suggest you use the yellow onions. They just look better, especially when the food cools down, because the red onions tend to change color a lot because of the dark soy sauce. Anyway, in the pan, I have some regular oil and some sesame seed oil. So I use my regular canola oil. And another key ingredient is the sesame seed oil. You need that sesame seed oil for that authentic Asian style stir fry. Okay, so this I'm cooking on high heat, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cook my shrimp. Now these have been marinating in my refrigerator for about an hour. Okay, sometimes I am in a rush and I just go ahead and dump it, but it still comes out right because I have marinated it enough. And with the spices that I use, just know that it's gonna bang. But it's always better you let your meats marinate in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. Okay, all right, so now my shrimp is done. Shrimp don't take time to cook, so I'm gonna take everything out of the pot like so. And in the same pan, I'm just gonna add a little bit of sesame seed oil. I just wanted more of that taste. And then I'll go ahead and cook my chicken. So if you're doing shrimp with like beef and or chicken, always cook your shrimp first before you go in with the beef or the chicken, because shrimp takes way less time to cook. Now my chicken is looking good, and by this time, honey, your house should be smelling real good. It should smell really, really good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take out my chicken. It is nice and juicy, as you can see. So we're using the same pan. All of that good things in there is flavor. So I'm going ahead with my onions. Now I used red onions here because that was what I had in my pantry, but typically I would use the yellow onions, and I cut them big. Okay, I don't like to overcook my veggies, but if you like yours to be more done, you could just cook it longer. Okay, so yeah, I went into my onions, and then I had some carrots. Please use some carrots. Carrots add so much flavor and just color and everything good to your stir fry. So I would have added more carrots, but that was all I had. Now another star of the show you can't miss. This is crushed garlic. This is freshly crushed garlic, and I'm also gonna add some fresh ginger that I'm gonna grate in there by myself. I always buy my garlic in bulk and just add some oil in the blender, and I blend everything. I put it in little containers and freeze them. Anytime I bring them out weeks later, they are nice and fragrant and fresh, because I use a lot of garlic in my cooking. Now this is optional, but I use 1 habanero pepper because I like my food to have that little kick of spice, but you can totally skip this if you do not like your food to be hot. Okay, go ahead and keep going. And as you can see, I found some yellow onions, and I decided to add them. I was so happy that I found that. It was like about half an onion or so. So I added it in there, and I just kept on with my stir fry. You're cooking on high heat, remember, so you gotta keep going. This is not a meal that you can walk away from. It is quick because you're cooking on high heat, so you have to be right there with it. So it's looking good, and when I tell you, when that sesame oil and everything mixed together, oh, it's so good. Now as you can see, I am adding dark soy sauce. This soy sauce, as you can see, it is really, really dark. That is what gives it that beautiful color you're looking for. So if you notice, apart from the salt, whatever seasoning, I didn't even put salt in my proteins. All I used was that Knorr seasoning, which already has salt, because you know you're going to be using some dark soy sauce, and it has a lot of sodium. So once I incorporated that, I added my veggies, and another star of the show, I add about 1 tablespoon of curry powder, no more than that. You can even use half a tablespoon of curry powder, just a little bit. It adds taste, it adds color, and let me tell you, all these just marinate together so beautifully. Look at the pot, it's looking so good, y'all. I went ahead and added my low sodium soy sauce. Again, with this I can use more without compromising on my salt and all of that. So you want to keep stir frying this. And remember, we already washed the rice noodles after we boiled it, so there's no salt in it. So whatever you have here is going to be all the salt. So make sure you taste it after you're done incorporated everything. As you can see, I added my cooked chicken and my cooked shrimp into my veggies. Now, this on its own, let me tell you, get some tortilla bread and just eat this on its own. It's like fajita. It is so delicious, so rich, so flavorful. On its own, I could eat it like that, or even over some white rice. So I tasted my salt, like I said, and I needed a little bit, so I went in with more light soy sauce and a little bit of the Knorr chicken bouillon. I gave it a good mix. As you can see, you should have a little bit of that juiciness to it, because you do not want your noodles to be dry. Okay, you want it to be nice and moist, but not mushy. Okay, so everything is on point. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my cooked noodles. If your noodles don't come apart like that, you see how it's just separating without sticking to each other, that's how you know it's gonna be good. If it's not like this and it's lumpy, maybe you missed something. Go ahead, if it's been sitting for a while and it gets a little lumpy, run it under the tap again. That will get it separated instantly. Just make sure you drain the water before you add it to your stir fry. And yeah, on high heat again, we are going, baby. I just go ahead to town, and then by this time, my arms hurt because I'm making so much. If you're just making 1 pack it would not be so hard, but I'm making a lot of food. And as you can see, the dark soy sauce has been absorbed so beautifully by the noodles. It actually doesn't even look as dark as it looked before I added it. So if you see in this next clip right here, it looks a little darker. That's because I added a little bit of the dark soy sauce, and that was it for me. It perfectly balanced everything. At this point, my kitchen was smelling like heaven. I went ahead and flipped my phone from the camera to get you guys these money shots. Now, can you see this? Look at it. You can't tell me that don't look good. That look good, good. And let me tell you, it tastes as good as it looks. I have made these for potlucks. I've made this for people's events, and it never disappoints. This is something I can always whip at any time of the week, of the day, because I always have peppers in my freezer. I always have shrimp, and I always have chicken breast in my freezer. If I want to do beef, just make it yours by using any protein of your choice. You can also make it vegetarian by not adding any of those beef, whatever you want. Just keep it with the veggies, and I'm promising you, you are still gonna love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give your girl a thumbs up, and until I catch y'all in my next one, stay safe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.